I came home from the morning market with bags of vegetables and a whole fish I'd planned to grill for dinner. It was a Tuesday in June, around 10:30 in the morning. The sun was already brutal, and I was looking forward to getting inside, turning on the air conditioning, and maybe taking a nap before lunch. I'd been in Thailand for 18 months by then, and I'd finally gotten used to the rhythm of life here. Wake early, market by 8, home by 10, siesta during the hottest part of the day, evening walk, dinner, television, bed. Simple, peaceful, exactly what I'd wanted when I retired. I unlocked the front door and pushed it open with my hip, my hands full of shopping bags. The house was silent, too silent. May usually had Thai music playing when she was home, or the television would be on, showing one of those soap operas she loved. But today, there was nothing, just the hum of the air conditioner and an emptiness that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. "May?" I called out, setting the bags on the kitchen counter. "You home?" No answer. I walked through the house, checking each room. The living room was empty. The bedroom was empty. Her closet was open. And that's when I noticed most of her clothes were gone. The dresses she'd bought just last month. The shoes lined up on the rack. The jewelry box that usually sat on the dresser. All gone. My chest tightened. I checked the bathroom. Her toiletries were gone too. Toothbrush, shampoo, the expensive face cream she'd insisted on buying from that shop in Bangkok. I went back to the bedroom and opened the safe where we kept our important documents. Passports, marriage certificate, house papers. The combination was our wedding date, she'd insisted on that. Said it was romantic. I punched in the numbers with shaking fingers. The safe was empty. Not just the documents. Everything. The cash I kept for emergencies, about 80,000 baht. The gold necklace I'd bought her for our 6-month anniversary. The spare credit cards. All of it. Gone. I stood there in the empty house, bags of vegetables slowly warming on the kitchen counter, and felt my world collapse around me. May was gone, and she'd taken everything. I pulled out my phone and tried to call her. It went straight to voicemail. I tried Line. Her account was deleted. Facebook, also deleted. It was like she'd never existed. Then I tried to check my bank account on my phone. The app wouldn't let me log in. Password incorrect. I tried again. Same message. I tried the forgot password option. It asked for my email. But when I checked my email, I couldn't log into that either. Password changed. Panic seized my chest. I grabbed my laptop and tried to access everything. Bank accounts, email, investment accounts. Everything had been locked. Passwords changed. Security questions changed. I was completely locked out of my own financial life. I'd lost my wife, my house, my documents, and access to every dollar I had left. All in one morning. While I was buying vegetables at the market, I sank onto the couch, my couch, in my house, that I'd paid for but didn't legally own, and tried to understand how this had happened, how the woman I'd married, the woman I'd trusted with everything, could do this to me. But the worst part? I'd seen the signs. I'd ignored the red flags. I'd handed her control of everything because I thought we were building a life together. I thought love meant trust. I thought marriage meant partnership. I was wrong about all of it. This is how I lost nearly $300,000 in 18 months. This is how a 58-year-old electrician from Portland, Oregon, ended up broke and alone in Thailand. This is the story of how I married a woman who turned out to be a professional con artist. And how I'm now living on a pension in a cheap apartment in Chiang Mai, trying to warn others so they don't make the same mistakes I did. My name is Mark Stevens, and this is what happened. If you've been enjoying the stories I create, please consider hitting the subscribe button. Your support is crucial for the growth of this channel and helps me dedicate time to making these videos despite my commitment to a full-time job. Thank you for being here. I spent 35 years working as an electrician for Portland General Electric. Started when I was 23, right after getting my journeyman's license. It was good, honest work. Steady paycheck, benefits, retirement plan. I wasn't rich, but I was comfortable. I bought a small house in Southeast Portland when I was 30, paid it off over 25 years. Lived simply, saved what I could. My marriage ended when I was 55. Linda and I had been together for 22 years. No kids. We'd tried, but it never happened. And after a while, we just stopped trying. We weren't unhappy, exactly. We just weren't. Anything. We existed in the same house, had dinner together, watched television together, but somewhere along the way, we'd stopped actually connecting. She was the one who asked for the divorce, said she wanted to find herself before it was too late. She moved to Eugene to be near her sister. We sold the house and split everything 50-50. No lawyers, no drama, just a quiet ending to a quiet marriage. After the divorce, I moved into a one-bedroom apartment and kept working. But something had shifted in me. I started thinking about retirement. I was 55, and I'd already put in 32 years at the company. I had a good pension waiting, savings of about $340,000. No debt, no responsibilities. Nothing tying me to Portland anymore. I started researching places to retire abroad. At first, I looked at Mexico, closer to the States, easy to visit family if I needed to. But something about it didn't appeal to me. Then a coworker, Dave, who'd taken a trip to Thailand a few years earlier, showed me photos of Hua Hin, a quiet beach town south of Bangkok. Not as crazy as Pattaya, not as expensive as Phuket. Just a peaceful coastal town with good beaches, cheap cost of living, and great weather year-round. You could live like a king there on your pension, Dave said. And the people are friendly, not like here where nobody talks to their neighbors. I started doing research. I joined expat forums online, read blogs, watched YouTube videos. I learned about retirement visas, cost of living, healthcare, all of it. The more I learned, the more appealing it became. In Portland, my pension would give me about $2,800 a month. That wasn't much. My apartment alone cost $1,400. Add in utilities, food, car insurance, health insurance, I'd be scraping by. But in Thailand, $2,800 was about 95,000 baht. I could live very comfortably on half that and still save money every month. So in November, 3 years after my divorce, I made the decision. I gave notice at work, sold my car, sold my furniture, put the few things I wanted to keep in storage. And in early January, at age 58, I boarded a flight to Bangkok with 3 suitcases and a one-way ticket. My sister thought I was crazy. "You don't even speak Thai," she said. "What if you get sick? What if something goes wrong?" "Then I'll deal with it," I told her. "I've spent my whole life playing it safe. I want to try something different." The truth was, I was lonely. I'd been lonely in my marriage. I'd been lonely in my apartment. I figured if I was going to be lonely, I might as well be lonely somewhere warm and cheap where my money would last. I didn't go to Thailand looking for a woman. I really didn't. I just wanted peace, a simple life. Maybe make a few friends, enjoy my retirement. But life has a way of changing your plans. The flight to Bangkok was long, 14 hours from Portland to Tokyo, then another 6 hours to Bangkok. By the time I landed at Suvarnabhumi Airport, I was exhausted, disoriented, and questioning whether I'd made a huge mistake. But when I walked out of the airport into the warm night air, something in me relaxed. It was January winter back in Portland, cold and rainy, but here it was probably 80 degrees, humid and thick, with the smell of street food and exhaust and something floral I couldn't identify. It felt foreign and exciting. I'd booked a few nights at a cheap hotel in Bangkok to get my bearings before heading to Hua Hin. Those first days were overwhelming. The traffic was insane. The noise was constant. The language barrier was real. I couldn't read signs, couldn't understand announcements, had to point at pictures on menus to order food. But people were patient with me. They smiled. They tried to help even when they didn't speak English. After 3 days in Bangkok, I took a bus south to Hua Hin. The journey took about 3.5 hours through countryside that looked nothing like Oregon. Palm trees, rice fields, small villages with houses on stilts, water buffalo grazing by the road. Everything was so different, so completely foreign, that I felt like I'd stepped into another world. Hua Hin was smaller than I'd expected. Not tiny, but manageable. A beach town with a long stretch of sand. Fishing boats pulled up on shore. Beach clubs with lounge chairs and umbrellas. The downtown area had night markets, seafood restaurants, massage shops, and 7-Elevens on every corner. It was touristy, but not overwhelming, quiet enough for what I wanted. I booked a guest house for my first week, while I looked for a place to rent long-term. The guest house was basic, a small room with a bed, a fan, a bathroom with a cold shower. 400 baht a night, about $12. The owner, an older Thai woman, spoke almost no English. but she smiled a lot and made sure I had everything I needed. I spent that first week exploring. I'd walk down to the beach in the mornings, have coffee at one of the small cafes, then wander through the markets. I tried different restaurants, Thai food, seafood, even a place that sold Western food for homesick tourists. Everything was so cheap I couldn't believe it. A full meal for $3 or $4. Fresh fruit smoothies for $1. A massage for $8. But I needed to find a real apartment, something long-term. So I started looking at rental listings online and visiting properties. Most of the landlords didn't speak much English, which made things complicated. I'd show up to viewings and try to communicate with hand gestures and Google Translate, but it was frustrating. That's how I met May. I was looking at a small house for rent on the outskirts of Hua Hin. It was a simple Thai-style place, 2 bedrooms, open kitchen, small yard. The listing said 12,000 baht a month, about $360. I'd arranged to meet the owner there one afternoon. When I arrived, there was a Thai woman waiting outside. She was in her mid-30s, dressed conservatively in a long skirt and blouse, hair pulled back neatly. She smiled when she saw me. "You are Mark?" she asked in careful English. "Yes. Are you the owner?" No. I am May. I live on this street. Owner asked me to help translate. She speaks only Thai." "Oh, well, thank you. That's very kind." The owner arrived a few minutes later, an elderly Thai woman who showed us around the property while May translated. The house was simple but clean. Tile floors, concrete walls, basic furniture. A window air conditioning unit in the bedroom. A small bathroom with a squat toilet and a shower with a hot water heater mounted on the wall. "What do you think?" May asked after the tour. "It's nice," I said. "Simple, but that's what I want." May translated this to the owner, who smiled and nodded. Then they had a long conversation in Thai, back and forth, with May occasionally glancing at me. Finally, May turned to me and said, "Owner say she give you good price, 11,000 baht per month if you sign 1-year contract, and she will include water bill. You only pay electric." 11,000 baht. About $330. That was even better than the listing. "That sounds fair," I said. May helped me go through the contract, translating each section, explaining what I was agreeing to. She was patient and thorough, making sure I understood everything before I signed. When we finished, the owner left, and I thanked May for her help. "It's no problem," she said with a warm smile. "I am happy to help. Not many foreigners live on this street. It's nice to have neighbor from America." "You speak English very well," I said. "Thank you. I study in university. I have shop in town, sell souvenirs and clothes for tourists, so I must practice English." We stood there for a moment in awkward silence. Then I asked, "Can I buy you coffee to thank you for helping?" She hesitated, then smiled. "Okay. Yes, I know good place." We walked to a small cafe a few streets away. She ordered Thai iced tea. I ordered regular coffee. We sat outside under an umbrella, and I asked her about her life. She told me she'd lived in Hua Hin all her life. Her family had a small shop, and she'd taken it over when her parents retired. She wasn't married, no children. She said she'd been focused on her business and taking care of her parents, and time had just passed by. "Now I am 34, she said with a sad smile. "Thai people say I am too old to marry." "That's ridiculous," I said. 34 is still young," she laughed. "Not in Thailand. Here, women should marry by 25, have children by 30. I miss my time." I told her about my divorce, about my life in Portland, about why I'd come to Thailand. She listened without judgment, asking thoughtful questions, seeming genuinely interested. When we finished our coffee, she said, "If you need help with anything translations, finding things, understanding Thailand, you can ask me. I am happy to help." "Thank you," I said. "I appreciate that." And I meant it. She seemed kind, genuine, not like she wanted anything from me, just a friendly neighbor offering to help a foreigner adjust to a new country. I had no idea what I was walking into. I moved into the house a week later. May helped me buy basic supplies, dishes, cooking utensils, a rice cooker, cleaning supplies. She took me to the local markets where she knew the vendors and negotiated prices for me in Thai. She showed me which bus routes went where, how to use the Songthieu taxis, where to find the best street food. She wasn't pushy about it. She'd just stop by every few days to check if I needed anything. And if I did, she'd help. It felt natural, neighborly. like someone genuinely trying to make a foreigner feel welcome. About 2 weeks after I moved in, she invited me to have dinner with her family. Her parents' house was just a few streets away. It was a traditional Thai house, wooden, raised on stilts with the living space on the second floor. Her parents were in their 60s, warm and welcoming despite not speaking any English. Her younger brother was there too, along with his wife and their 2 young children. May translated throughout dinner, helping me communicate. The food was homemade, Thai dishes, spicy and delicious. Her mother kept putting more food on my plate, insisting I eat more, the way mothers everywhere do. The kids were curious about me, asking questions about America through May. It felt like a real family gathering. Warm, comfortable, nothing transactional about it. After dinner, May's father showed me his collection of old Thai coins while May translated their history. We sat on the floor, looking at coins from different kings and different eras, and I felt this unexpected sense of belonging, like I was part of something instead of just an outsider observing. "Your family is lovely," I told May as she walked me home that night. "They like you," she said. "My father say you are a good man, polite, respectful." Over the next few months, May and I fell into a routine. We'd have coffee together a few times a week. She'd take me to places tourists didn't know about: local temples, quiet beaches, small restaurants where the food was authentic and cheap. We'd sit and talk for hours about everything. Our childhoods, our dreams, our regrets. She told me about a man she'd almost married when she was 25. He'd been a police officer from Bangkok. They'd been engaged, but his family didn't approve of her, said she was from a lower class, not educated enough. He'd broken off the engagement to marry someone his family chose. It had broken her heart, she said. She'd never really opened up to anyone since then. I told her about my marriage, about how Linda and I had just drifted apart, about how I'd worked so much I'd forgotten how to connect with another person, about feeling invisible in my own life. May listened without judgment. She had this way of making me feel heard, understood, like what I said mattered. One evening, we were sitting on the beach watching the sunset, something we'd started doing once or twice a week, and she said quietly, "I am happy you moved to Hua Hin, Mark. You are a good friend." "You're a good friend too," I said. "I don't know what I would have done without your help." She smiled and leaned her head on my shoulder. Just for a moment. Nothing more than that. But it felt significant, intimate. That night, walking home, I realized I had feelings for her. Real feelings. Not just gratitude or attraction, but something deeper. I cared about her. I wanted to be around her. She made me happy in a way I hadn't been happy in years. But I didn't say anything. Not yet. I didn't want to rush. Didn't want to ruin the friendship if she didn't feel the same way. A week later, she invited me to her shop. It was a small place on one of the side streets near the night market. She sold tourist items, t-shirts, sarongs, carved elephants, postcards, cheap jewelry. Nothing fancy, but it was hers. She'd built it herself. "Business is not so good now," she admitted. "Tourist numbers are down. COVID hurt many businesses. Some shops close, mine still open, but..." She trailed off, looking worried. "Are you okay financially?" I asked. "I manage," she said. "I have some savings, but if tourist numbers don't improve..." She didn't finish the sentence. I wanted to help, wanted to offer her money, but something stopped me. I'd read enough warnings on expat forums about not mixing money and relationships in Thailand, about keeping finances separate until you really knew someone. So instead I said, "If you ever need help with anything, let me know. I'm here." She smiled. "Thank you, Mark. That means a lot to me." Looking back now, I realize how carefully she was building the foundation, introducing me to her family, creating emotional intimacy, showing vulnerability, making herself seem honest and trustworthy. All of it was calculated. All of it was designed to get me to lower my guard. And it worked perfectly. It happened on a Saturday evening in May. I'd been in Hua Hin for about 4 months by then. May and I had been spending more and more time together. We'd go on day trips to nearby towns, visit temples, have dinners at her parents' house. It felt like we were dating, though neither of us had explicitly said so. That evening, we were having dinner at a seafood restaurant by the beach. The sun was setting over the water, painting everything in gold and orange. May was wearing a blue dress I'd never seen before. She looked beautiful. We talked about everything and nothing. She told me about a difficult customer at her shop that day. I told her about a phone call with my sister back in Oregon. It was comfortable, easy, natural. Then, during a lull in conversation, she looked at me seriously and said, "Mark, can I ask you something?" "Of course." She hesitated, then said, "What are your plans? For the future, I mean, will you stay in Thailand? Or will you go back to America?" "I'm planning to stay," I said. "I like it here. I like the pace of life, the people, the weather. I don't have anything pulling me back to the States." She nodded slowly. "And do you see yourself alone? Or do you want to find someone? A partner?" I looked at her, realizing where this was going. My heart started beating faster. "I don't want to be alone," I said quietly. "But I also don't want to force something that isn't real." "What if it is real?" she asked, meeting my eyes. "What if someone cares about you? What if someone wants to build a future with you?" I reached across the table and took her hand. "Are we talking about someone specific?" She smiled, her eyes shining. "Maybe. I care about you, May. A lot. I have for a while now." "I care about you too," she said. "I know we come from different worlds, different cultures, but I think we understand each other. I think we could be happy together." "I think so too," I said. And just like that, we became a couple. Official, real. Over the next few weeks, everything intensified. She started staying at my house most nights. We'd cook dinner together, watch movies, fall asleep on the couch. It felt domestic, like we were already building a life together. Then, one evening in June, she brought up marriage. We were lying in bed, and she said quietly, "In Thai culture, if man and woman live together without marriage, people talk. They say bad things about the woman, that she has no value, that she is, I don't know English word, like prostitute, but not exactly." I pulled her closer. "I don't care what people say. I know. But I care. For my family. For my reputation." She paused. "Also, if we marry, you can get different visa. Marriage visa is easier than retirement visa. Must renew every year, but don't need show so much money in bank." I hadn't thought about that. I was on a retirement visa that required me to show a certain amount of money in a Thai bank account every year. A marriage visa might be simpler. "Are you saying you want to get married?" I asked. She turned to look at me. "Only if you want to. I don't want to pressure you. But yes, I want to marry you. I want to build a future together, not just live for today." Those words, build a future together, not just live for today. They hit me hard. Because that's exactly what I wanted. I'd spent my whole life just getting by, just existing. I wanted to build something, create something. With someone. "Let's do it," I said. "Let's get married." Her face lit up. "Really? You are sure?" "I'm sure." We got married 3 weeks later. It was a small ceremony at the district office in Hua Hin, nothing fancy. May's family came. Her parents, her brother and his wife, a few of her friends. We did the legal paperwork, signing documents, getting official stamps, taking photos. Then we had a small party at a restaurant where May's father gave a speech in Thai that she translated for me, talking about family and commitment and building a good life together. I paid for everything: the fees, the party, new clothes for May and her family. Maybe 25,000 baht total, about $750. It seemed like nothing compared to what I was gaining. A partner, a family, a sense of belonging. That night, lying in bed with my new wife beside me, I felt happier than I'd been in years, maybe happier than I'd ever been. I had no idea I'd just signed away my future. About a month after we got married, May started talking about buying a house. We were renting, and she said it was throwing money away, that if we bought something, we'd have an asset. Something we owned. Something we could build equity in. "But I can't own property in Thailand," I said. "I'm a foreigner." "You can own condo," she said. "Foreigners can own condominium up to 49% of building, but for house with land cannot own. Must be in Thai name." "So we'd put it in your name?" "Yes, but we are married now. What is mine is yours. What is yours is mine. We are family." I wanted to believe that. And legally, weren't married people supposed to share assets? In America, married couples owned things jointly. Why would Thailand be different? She started showing me property listings, houses in quiet neighborhoods, 2 bedrooms, small gardens, nothing extravagant. She said we could find something for 3 to 4 million baht, about $90,000 to $120,000. That was a big chunk of my savings. I had $340,000 when I arrived in Thailand. I'd been spending about $2,000 a month on everything: rent, food, entertainment, visa costs. After 6 months, I still had about $328,000 left. Can we see some places first? I asked, before making any decisions. Of course, we looked together. Find perfect house for us. Over the next few weeks, we looked at probably 20 different properties. May was organized about it. She made lists. She compared prices. She asked good questions about things I hadn't even thought of: water pressure, electric wiring, proximity to markets and hospitals. We finally found a place we both loved. It was in a quiet neighborhood about 10 minutes from the beach. A single-story house with 2 bedrooms, a modern kitchen, a nice bathroom with a proper Western toilet and a big shower. There was a small yard with mango trees and space for a garden. The house was painted white with blue trim, clean and well-maintained. The asking price was 4,800,000 baht. May negotiated with the seller and got them down to 4,500,000, about $135,000. "This is it," she said, her eyes shining as we stood in the empty living room. "This is our home." I looked around and tried to imagine our life here. Waking up together, having coffee in the garden, growing old in this house. It felt right. "Okay," I said. "Let's do it." The paperwork was complicated. I had to transfer money from my U.S. bank to a Thai bank account, which took several days and involved fees. Then the money had to sit in the Thai bank for a certain period to prove it came from overseas. May handled most of the logistics, talking to the bank in Thai, dealing with the land office, arranging for lawyers. I didn't understand most of it, but I trusted her. She was my wife. She had no reason to hurt me. We closed on the house in September. I transferred 4,500,000 baht, about $135,000, and the house officially became May's property. My name wasn't on any documents. Legally, I had no claim to it. But May assured me that as her husband, I was protected, that Thai law recognized spousal property rights. I chose to believe her. We moved in a week later. May was so happy, decorating the house, buying new furniture, planting flowers in the garden. She'd wake up early and cook breakfast, then spend the day making the house feel like a home. I'd sit in the garden reading while she worked, feeling content, feeling like I'd finally found what I was looking for. My sister called one day and asked how things were going. "Great," I told her. "I'm married. We just bought a house. I'm really happy." There was a pause. "A house? In your name?" "Well, no. In May's name. Foreigners can't own land here." Another pause. Longer this time. "Mark, please tell me you got some kind of legal protection. A contract or something. We're married. We don't need contracts. Mark." Her voice was full of concern. "I know what I'm doing," I said more defensively than I intended. "I'm not an idiot." But looking back now, maybe I was. Not an idiot exactly, just naive, trusting, desperate to believe I'd found something real. And that desperation would cost me everything. We'd been living in the house for about 3 months when May started talking about business opportunities. We were having dinner one evening, and she mentioned that a small spa and coffee shop near the beach was for sale. The owner was an older British man who wanted to go back to the UK to be near his grandchildren. "He is selling very cheap," May said. "Only 3 million baht for everything. The lease, the equipment, the customer list, everything. 3 million baht. About $90,000. "Why so cheap?" I asked. "He is old. He just want to go home. And business is not doing great. COVID hurt tourism. But I think if we improve it, update it, market better, we can make good money." I'd never run a spa before. Knew nothing about that business. "What would you do with it?" "I have ideas," she said, getting excited. "We can add more services. Maybe Thai massage, foot massage, facial treatments. And the coffee shop side. We can serve better coffee, add smoothies, healthy food. Make it place for tourists and locals." "How much work would it need?" "Some need to renovate a little, buy new equipment, but maybe 1 million baht for renovations. So total, 4 million baht investment. About $120,000 American money." That was a lot, more than I'd spent on the house. "And you think it would be profitable?" I asked. "I think so. Location is very good. Near beach, near hotels. If we do it right, we can make maybe 70, 80,000 baht profit per month. Maybe more. 70,000 baht profit per month would be about $2,100. That would be almost as much as my pension. If it was true, it would mean financial security. Maybe even the ability to save money again. Can we see the place? We visited the spa the next day. It was a small shop on a side street near the main beach area. 2 massage rooms, a small reception area, a coffee counter. It was dated and needed work, but the location was good. Lots of foot traffic. Tourists walking past constantly. The British owner, a man named Robert, who must have been 70, showed us around. He confirmed everything May had said. He was tired. He wanted to go home. He'd take 3 million baht cash and hand over everything. How much are you making now? I asked. Not much, he admitted. Maybe 30, 40,000 a month profit. But I'm not trying anymore. I'm just running out the clock. Someone with energy could do much better. Over the next week, May put together a business plan. She researched costs for renovations, equipment, licenses, staff salaries. She created spreadsheets showing projected income and expenses. She seemed to know what she was doing. She seemed competent and organized. If we do this, I said, you'd run it? I don't know anything about this kind of business. Yes, I run it. You just relax. Enjoy retirement. This is my project. That sounded good to me. I didn't want to work. I wanted to be retired. But having a business generating income, that sounded like a smart investment. Against my better judgment, against the warnings I'd read on expat forums about never investing in Thai businesses, I agreed. I transferred 4 million baht to May's account, about $120,000. She handled all the paperwork, the negotiations, the licensing. The business was registered in her name as sole owner. I had no legal claim to it. But again, she said we were married. What was hers was mine. The renovations took about 6 weeks. May was there every day supervising workers, choosing paint colors, selecting furniture. She hired 2 young Thai women to work as massage therapists and a young man to work the coffee counter. She bought new coffee machines, massage tables, towels, oils, everything. The spa reopened in January under a new name, Sabai Sabai Wellness. May had chosen it. Sabai Sabai meant relaxed or comfortable in Thai. It was perfect. The opening day was busy. May had marketed it on social media, put up flyers around town, offered opening specials. Lots of customers came in. The place looked great, modern, clean, professional. For the first month, things seemed promising. May showed me daily income reports. They were making decent money, not the 70 or 80,000 baht profit she'd projected, but enough to cover costs and show potential. I was proud of her. She'd taken a rundown business and made it successful. She was smart, capable, driven, and I was completely blind to what was really happening. It started small and seemed helpful at the time. May suggested we set up online banking so she could help manage our finances while she was busy running the spa. Is easier, she said. I can pay bills, transfer money, check accounts. You don't have to go to bank all the time. It made sense. I hated going to the bank. The language barrier made everything complicated. Having May handle the day-to-day financial stuff would save me time and frustration. So I set up online banking and gave her the login information. Then she suggested linking my email to her phone so she could check for important messages while I was out or busy. Sometimes banks send important notice, she explained. Or immigration send message about visa. I can check and tell you. Again, it seemed helpful. My email was mostly spam anyway. What was the harm? Then she wanted access to my pension account to check payment dates and amounts. I want to budget better, she said. Know exactly when money comes, how much, so I can plan. Each request by itself seemed reasonable, helpful even. I didn't see the pattern, didn't realize she was systematically taking control of every aspect of my financial life. By March, 6 months after we'd bought the house, and 3 months after opening the spa, May had access to everything. My bank accounts, my email, my pension account. She knew all my passwords. All my security questions, everything. And I thought it was fine. We were married. Married couples shared everything, right? I started noticing small things. charges on my credit card I didn't recognize, withdrawals from my savings account that seemed larger than our usual expenses. When I asked May about them, she always had explanations. That was for spa supplies. That was the electric bill. It was very high this month because of air conditioning. That was payment to massage therapists. I accepted her explanations. Why wouldn't I? She was my wife. She was running our business. Of course there were expenses. But the withdrawals kept getting bigger. 5,000 baht here, 10,000 there, 20,000, 30,000. By May, my savings account, which had held about $170,000 after buying the house and the business, was down to about 80,000. I'd burned through $90,000 in 9 months. I finally confronted her about it one evening. May, I need to understand where all the money is going. I've spent $90,000 in less than a year. That's not sustainable. She looked hurt. You think I'm stealing from you? No, I need to understand the expenses. Fine, I show you. She pulled out a notebook where she'd been tracking expenses. There were pages and pages of entries. Bills, supplies, staff salaries, house repairs, spa equipment, her mother's medical bills, her brother's car repairs, on and on. We are family, she said, her voice tight. When my family has problems, I help them. Like your sister has problems, you help her. Same. She was right about that. I'd sent my sister $2,000 a few months earlier when her car broke down. So who was I to judge May for helping her family? I'm not accusing you of anything, I said, backing down. I just want to make sure we're being smart with money. We are, she said firmly. The spa is doing well. We are making money. Everything is fine. But everything wasn't fine. I just didn't want to see it yet. The first real warning sign came in late May. I ran into Robert, the British man who'd sold us the spa, at a bar near the beach. He was back in Hua Hin for a short visit to see friends. How's the business doing, he asked. Good, I said. May's running it. She's doing a great job. He gave me a strange look. The spa is still open? Yeah. Why wouldn't it be? I drove past it yesterday. Looked closed. May probably closed early. It's low season. Not many tourists right now. Right. Of course. But he didn't sound convinced. The conversation bothered me. Why would the spa be closed in the middle of the day? I'd been so hands-off with the business, trusting May to run everything, that I realized I hadn't actually visited the spa in weeks, maybe months. The next day, I decided to stop by unannounced. When I got there around 2 p.m, the shutters were down. The door was locked. A sign in Thai and English said, "Closed for renovations." Renovations? May hadn't mentioned any renovations. I called her. Hey, I'm at the spa. Why is it closed? She sounded surprised to hear from me. Oh, I was going to tell you. We need to fix the air conditioning. Should only take a few days. When did it break? Last week. The technician is coming tomorrow. Okay. Do you need me to pay for the repair? No. I have money from the business. Is fine. But something felt off. Why hadn't she told me? Why did I have to stumble upon it by accident? I started paying more attention after that. I'd drive past the spa at different times of day. It was closed more often than it was open. When I asked May about it, she always had reasons. Slow day, sick staff, supply delivery, always something. Then in early June, I tried to log into my bank account and found my password had been changed. I tried the forgot password option, but the email address on file had been changed too. I was locked out of my own account. I immediately called May. Something's wrong with my bank account. The password doesn't work. Oh, sorry, I changed it for security. Someone tried to hack the account. Bank sent warning. I changed password to protect us. What's the new password? I write it down. Is at the house. I tell you when I come home tonight. But she didn't come home that night. She texted saying she had to stay late at the spa. She'd come home tomorrow. The next day, same thing. And the next day. By the third day, I was getting worried and angry. I went to the bank in person, stood in line for an hour. Finally got to talk to a teller who spoke some English. I need to access my account, I said. But my password has been changed and I can't log in. You have ID? I showed her my passport. She typed on her computer, then frowned. This account is closed. What? No, it can't be closed. Yes. See? She turned the screen toward me. Closed 1 week ago. All money transferred out. My stomach dropped. Transferred where? Cannot say. Privacy. But it's my account. Account was in wife name too. Joint account. She closed it. Is legal. I felt the room spinning. May had closed our joint account. Taken all the money. And I'd had no idea. I went home in a daze. May wasn't there. I checked the bedroom. Her clothes were mostly gone. The bathroom. Her toiletries were gone. The safe. Empty. I called her phone. Straight to voicemail. I checked her line. Account deleted. Facebook. Deleted. She was gone. And she'd taken everything. I sat in that empty house for 3 days trying to understand what had happened. The house I'd paid for but didn't own. The business I'd funded but had no claim to. The bank accounts I'd opened but couldn't access. Everything was gone, and so was May. On the 4th day, I finally went to the police. I brought my marriage certificate, bank statements, transfer receipts, everything I had. The police officer listened to my story with a bored expression. When I finished, he said simply, "She is your wife. You gave her money. She not steal. You give as gift. But she lied to me. She scammed me. You have contract? Paper that says she must pay you back? No. We're married." I trusted her. He shrugged. "Cannot help. Is civil matter, not criminal. You must hire lawyer." I hired a lawyer. Paid him 30,000 baht, about $900, just for a consultation. He looked at all my documents and shook his head. The house is in her name. The business is in her name. The bank accounts were joint accounts. She had legal right to everything. You have no case. But we're married. In Thailand, marriage does not automatically mean shared property. You needed prenuptial agreement. Or you needed to put your name on documents. You have nothing. So I just lost everything? I am sorry, yes. This happens often to foreign men. They trust Thai woman, put everything in her name. Then she disappears. I felt sick. Has she done this before? The lawyer hesitated, then said, "I cannot say for sure. But I have heard stories. Women who marry foreigners multiple times. Always same pattern. I think maybe your wife is. Professional. Professional. That's what he called her. A professional con artist." Over the next few weeks, I did some digging. I talked to other expats in Hua Hin, posted on forums, asked questions, and slowly, I pieced together the truth. May, or whatever her real name was, had done this at least twice before. Different names, different stories, but the same basic scheme. Meet a foreign man, build trust, get married, take control of finances, buy property in her name, then disappear. One man told me he'd lost $200,000 to her 3 years earlier. Another lost $150,000. Both had reported her to police. Nothing happened. Because technically, she hadn't done anything illegal. She just convinced men to give her things. And now I was victim number 3. Maybe not even number 3. Maybe number 5 or 6 or 10. Who knows? I lost $295,000 total. The house, the business, my savings, everything except my pension. I couldn't afford to stay in Hua Hin. The memories were too painful, and the cost of living was higher than I could manage on my pension alone. So I moved to Chiang Mai, a cheaper city in the north. I found a small studio apartment for 6,000 baht a month, about $180. Basic. Depressing. But all I could afford. My pension gives me 95,000 baht a month, about $2,800. After rent, utilities, food, and basic expenses, I save maybe 20,000 baht a month, about $600. At that rate, it would take me 23 years to save back what I lost. I'm 58 years old. That means I'd be 81 before I recovered financially. But I'll never really recover. Not from this. I've been living in Chiang Mai for 6 months now. I work part-time teaching English online to make a little extra money. I spend most days alone in my small apartment. I don't date. I don't trust anyone. I don't want to. I started participating in expat forums, sharing my story, warning others. I've probably talked to 100 different men who were thinking about marrying Thai women. Some listened to my warnings. Some didn't. Some probably made the same mistakes I did. One guy told me I was just bitter and racist, that not all Thai women were scammers, that I was painting everyone with the same brush. He was right that not all Thai women are scammers. Most aren't. Most are honest, good people just trying to make a living and take care of their families. But there are professionals out there. Women who have perfected the art of manipulation, who know exactly how to identify vulnerable foreign men and extract everything they can from them. And the system protects them. Because they're not technically breaking any laws, they're just very good at convincing men to give them things voluntarily. I didn't just lose money. I lost the illusion that love and paperwork meant safety. I lost my ability to trust. I lost my dignity. Sometimes I wonder what I could have done differently if I'd kept the house in a company structure, if I'd never given her access to my accounts, if I'd been more careful, more suspicious, less trusting. But then I realized that's exactly what she was counting on. She was counting on me being lonely, being trusting, being desperate for connection. And it worked. If you're reading this and you're thinking about retiring to Thailand, about meeting a woman, about getting married, please be careful. Don't put property in anyone else's name, even if they're your wife. Don't give anyone full access to your bank accounts, even if you trust them completely. Don't invest in businesses you don't understand or can't legally own. Don't ignore red flags because you want to believe in a fairy tale. And, most importantly, don't think you're the exception. Don't think your situation is different. Don't think your love is special. Because that's what I thought. And it cost me everything. I'm 60 years old now. I live in a tiny apartment. I eat cheap street food. I work part-time to supplement my pension. I have almost nothing. But I learned something valuable. Something I share with anyone who'll listen. Love isn't enough. Trust isn't enough. Marriage certificates aren't enough. In Thailand, paperwork is everything. And if your name isn't on the paperwork, you own nothing. I learned that lesson the hard way. I hope you don't have to.